first, being found by people, it was just relief. We're gonna get out of here. We are safe. Maybe like an hour into it, the pain kind of kicked in. My shoulder was throbbing. My neck and the back of my head was throbbing. I had this lump on my forehead, and it became uncomfortable just being there.
I finally came to somebody who was dressed, in ranger gear, and he was also leading a group of about 40 people who he couldn't then abandon on the trail. So right away then he radioed for help.
All advised, 2 hikers have been involved in a bear attack in Glacier Valley. Need all medical personnel to respond to the scene.
Copy that. I'll head right out, over.
I was working my job on the west side of the park and overheard on the park radio that there had been a bear attack. Bear attacks are really rare. It doesn't happen very much. It's wilderness. So when you hike into their habitat, you never know where they're going to be. I hoped we could find a landing zone nearby because flying helicopters in the mountains is always a challenge, and hoping that we could do something to help the people that have been injured.
There's still a bear out there somewhere that I didn't know where. I just wanted to get out of that place where that, awful thing kind of happened.
Jenna was basically stable, but the bigger issue was Johan, and that he had bled a lot, and in my opinion, was at risk of bleeding to death. Jenna was very concerned about her father's well-being and his safety and his life.
I was astounded that Johan and Jenna survived the fall off the trail, let alone the bear attack event.
Okay, this looks good. Find some good points and set your anchors.
When I got there, Johan was about 60 or 70 feet below the trail. And it was obvious that he had been there for quite a while, and he had lost a lot of blood.
His blood pressure is 80/30. His pulse is 44.
Go ahead. I'm Gary Moses. I'm gonna get you out of here. How's that sound?
Sounds great, Gary. I think my neck might be broken.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's a C2. Second cervical vertebrae. I'm a physical therapist.
I pretty much had to believe when he said he thought his neck was broken, his neck probably was broken. So that was a real complicating factor in trying to figure out how are we gonna affect this rescue, because if we haul this guy with a broken neck up that cliff face, we could unintentionally cause him further harm.
We sat there for several hours as the park personnel tried to figure out what to do with them or how to get them out of the position they were in.
It was one of the worst places in the park. They said that a bear attack could have occurred because it was so hard to get people there.
I'd done many marathons, so I was able to, in a way, dissociate myself from the situation. Because when you run a marathon, you go through physical pain. So that probably totally helped me to keep me dissociated from any physical injury I may possibly have, and just keep me focused on, I'll get rescued.
The park staff tried to mount a technical climb from the trail above to sort of climb down to where they were, and I'm guessing try to carry them out in some way on stretchers or on someone's back.
They were trying to do a rappel rescue, so they were trying to bring in a basket and hook it into the mountain and rappel down to them. And it felt like hours that they tried to do that, but it was probably 20 minutes or so, and they just couldn't get the gear to adhere to the mountain. So then, you could hear the radio start to talk about a helicopter rescue and how that might work, but there's no place to land the helicopter. So that meant, too, there was no way to get first aid in.
The incident occurred at about 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get on scene until about 11:30, 11:40, something like that. So a couple hours had already passed. In the medical field, they always talk about the golden hour. You want to have the patient in the operating room within an hour of the incident. Well, that had already long passed. So the big concern was just that I'm not sure we're going to be able to save him.